Imagine a world where every step could reveal treasure or danger, where the thrill of discovery isn't just encouraged, it's essential. That's Corepunk. But is it the MMO we've all been waiting for? Stick around and I'll show you what makes it different and why it might just surprise you. Welcome to my first look at Corepunk, the highly anticipated MMORPG launching into early access on November the 26th. I've spent over 30 hours playing in 3 alpha test sessions, and let me tell you, it's the kind of game that stays with you. What hooked me? Its unique style. A perfect blend of nostalgic MMORPG vibes with modern innovative mechanics. And now with early access, it's time to dive back in. Stick with me as I show you everything that makes this game stand out, from the fog of war system to its addictive combat and progression. Trust me, you will want to see this. In Corepunk, creating your character is more than just picking a look, it's choosing your progression path. You'll start by selecting a hero type, which essentially acts as your class. And from there, you'll have 3 specialization options or subclasses tied to your weapon and skills. I went with Warmonger Legionary, a big tough orc tank, because let's be honest, who doesn't love being a massive orc? It takes me right back to grinding the Elder Scrolls Oblivion as a kid. The Legionary is the tank option, but I could have chosen the Shaman for a more damage focused playstyle. Now the character customization gives you some control over things like hair and a few details to make your hero your own, but it's not the most detailed creation system that I've seen. That said, it does get the job done. One thing to keep in mind, your choice of subclass does matter. If you want to play as a tank, it's best to start out with that, as switching to a different subclass and weapon option later will take a considerable amount of time and a much higher level to be able to switch. But the main trade-off is choosing a faster, damage-focused class can make the early progression feel much smoother and faster. So the question is, do you start with what you love or make the grind easier? Corepunk had me hooked within minutes. There's this immediate blend of nostalgic MMORPG charm mixed with a sleek modern edge. It's like if RuneScape, World of Warcraft and Albion Online had a baby, and then someone tossed in a dash of Fallout, but make it cyberpunk, but not quite so post-apocalyptic, and out comes Corepunk. It's hard to pin down, but that's what makes it so interesting. This is a game aimed squarely at adults. From scantily clad women with, let's say, very generous proportions, to NPCs who are literally high and handing you joints for quest rewards. Corepunk is just unfiltered fun. The dialogue is full of modern slang and hilarious voice interactions, with NPCs sometimes completely losing their shit.
While I have to deal with all of you and your fucking papers.
It gives the game a personality you don't see in many MMORPGs, and that modern twist really sets it apart from the crowd. But what really kept me playing was the humour and the vibe. Few MMORPGs take this bold, cheeky approach to the genre. It's refreshing, it's funny, and it's something I didn't know I wanted to see in an MMO until now. Your adventure in Corepunk starts the moment you step through the portal. You're dropped into a lush forest, and the first thing you'll notice is the fog of war covering your in-game map. It's your job to uncover it, one step at a time. Exploration isn't just encouraged, it's essential. The world is expansive, with a variety of biomes to discover, shifting weather patterns, and a dynamic day and night cycle that adds a real challenge to the nighttime adventures. Venturing off the path can be dangerous. Sometimes more enemies than you expected are waiting in the shadows, but that's also where the excitement is. Corepunk's world is visually stunning. Vibrant graphics bring to life its flora, trees and biomes, with detailed towns, landmarks and hidden points of interest. Whether you stumble across a small camp, a ritual site, or even a random dead body, there's always something to catch your eye. One of my favourite touches is the interactive environment. Looting containers, smashing boxes, and even destroying scarecrows in fields adds a level of engagement that makes the world feel alive. It's these little things that keep exploration exciting. In the early game, you'll spend a lot of time in Goldenfield Town and its surrounding forests. But be careful, every corner you turn can hold a surprise. Straying too far might lead you into orange and red PvP enabled zones, where you'll need to stay on your toes. The attention to detail is obvious throughout Corepunk's landscapes. It's not just a world you play in, it's a world you lose yourself in. And with so much to discover, the only question is, how far are you willing to go to uncover what's hidden? Corepunk's combat system takes inspiration from ARPGs and MOBAs, delivering fast-paced, skill-based action where every ability can make or break a fight. At the start, combat feels quite simple. You have one ability and an auto attack. But as you level up, you unlock new abilities and improve existing ones. By the time you're fully geared, you'll have 3 main hero skills, an ultimate, and 2 optional skills you can pick up from a skill trainer. Combat is directional, meaning you aim your abilities at targets, and positioning is key. When fighting multiple enemies, you need to circle around, adjust your aim, and time your attacks carefully. With limited abilities and some long cooldowns, strategy becomes essential. You can't just spam skills and hope for the best. You'll need to manage your mana, position correctly, and save your key abilities to interrupt enemies or control the fight when it really counts. Corepunk sticks to the classic holy trinity of MMORPG roles with tank, healer, and damage. As somebody who's spent many years tanking in MMOs, I'm thrilled to see a strong tanking role within the game. From my experience so far, tanking in Corepunk comes down to mastering threat management and positioning. You'll need to gather enemies, maintain aggro, and maneuver carefully to stack mobs for your group. But it won't be easy. Tanks have much lower damage output, and competing for threat with high DPS players and healers is a real challenge. Corepunk's progression system feels deeply rewarding, especially in those early stages. Leveling up your character is heavily quest driven, with quests connected to your hero's growth and development. Most quests are classic MMORPG staples, collecting items, hunting enemies, or finding hidden treasures. It has that nostalgic feel, but with enough complexity to keep it interesting. Picking up multiple quests allows you to complete them all in one go, earning gold, gear, and chunks of experience as you explore. Leveling unlocks skills, allows you to develop your talent tree, and grants access to skill trainers for additional support skills, from things like small burst self-healing to walking speed boosts. Professions also play a key role early on, requiring you to gather and craft items for NPCs. High-level crafting pays off with faster material gathering, reduced failure rates, and bonus drops. But there is a twist. Switching between professions can cause others to decrease. It's a system that rewards specialization, though early on you'll need to dabble in everything to progress. Gear progression and gear score are central to your power in Corepunk. 4 key elements contribute to your character's strength. These are weapons, artifacts, chips, and runes. Items can be purchased from NPCs on a rotating cycle, meaning you might not always find what you need. All things can be crafted if you have the recipe and the materials. Items range from tier 1 to tier 3 and gain bonuses from higher rarities. Higher gear score means greater power. New weapons will improve stats and DPS. Artifacts act like slotted gear that boosts attributes such as defense and attack power. Chips are kind of weapon enchantments that enhance the performance. Higher quality weapons allow more and better chips and grant perks like increased attack speed and damage. Finally, runes upgrade artifacts, offering additional benefits to further enhance your character's power. MMORPGs are everywhere these days, so what makes Corepunk really stand out? First, the Fog of War system creates a layer of tension and excitement that's missing from most modern games. When you see something dart past in the distance but can't quite track it down, or you stumble into a wolf pack you didn't see coming, it changes the way you explore. It even impacts PvP, where players can hide, evade, or ambush in ways that feels truly strategic. Second, Corepunk's humour and mature themes are unlike anything else in the genre. With over 350 fully voiced quests, you'll find yourself helping a pot dealer who smoked all of his supply, or a gym bro on a yoga trip. It's dark, cheeky, and refreshingly modern for an MMORPG. Corepunk's episodic quest system introduces new content over time, keeping the world dynamic and fresh. Interestingly, 60% of the game's focus is on endgame content, with the other 40% dedicated to slowly building towards it. This design gives players something meaningful to aim for and ensures the grind is worth it. Lastly, Corepunk's aesthetic blends MMORPG nostalgia with steampunk, cyberpunk, and fantasy influences. It feels familiar yet fresh, a mix of classic open-world vibes with modern-day topics and layered environments. Overall, Corepunk has exceeded my expectations. I'm not usually a big fan of MMORPGs that are modern with guns. I like the old swords, bows, and magic, but Corepunk blends the nostalgic feel of classic MMORPGs with modern innovative mechanics. The Fog of War system makes exploring exciting and rewarding. The combat feels strategic and engaging. The game's humour gives it a personality all its own. Corepunk isn't without its challenges. Progression is slower paced and requires attention to detail. Quests can take time to complete. Specific materials often require significant effort to gather. Leveling up and mastering weapons is a slow burn, and fighting enemies at your level, especially in groups, can be a real test of strategy. But this is part of the charm. The slow build-up feels rewarding, and the game's depth and challenge keeps you hooked. I'm looking forward to diving back in on launch day and seeing how Corepunk evolves over time. For me, it is a must-try MMORPG. I would love to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments below. Don't miss your chance to explore Corepunk in early access on November 26th. Use the link in the description below to pre-order now and grab one of the awesome pre-order packages. And subscribe to the Tank Club for my upcoming Corepunk beginner tips and tricks guide. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.